Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I begin in the name of God, who is the source of all compassion and the source of all mercy. Dear friends, the Al-Fitra Foundation family, residents at Pride, and all our community members and stakeholders, I greet you on this joyous and reflective occasion of Eid-ul-Fitr. Upon the sighting of the crescent moon, we bid al-wida or farewell to the blessed month of Ramadan, the month of the Quran, the month of Siyam or fasting, the month of Qiyam or night prayers, the month of Ghufran or forgiveness, the month of Ihsan or goodness, and the month of Karam or generosity. For some, Ramadan was just an abstention from food and drink. For others, it was an exercise in patience and discipline, and yet others spent the month in complete devotion to the God of their understanding. After a month of reconnecting with our conception of the divine, we arrive at this day of Eid, a time for expressing great joy, a time for giving thanks, and a time to celebrate our spiritual accomplishments and the moral victories we may have gained. Eid-ul-Fitr signals the beginning of the new Islamic month of Shawwal. Shawwal is named after when camels mate. Shawwal means lifting, raising, or hoisting because of the time of the year when some scholars say the male camel lifts his tail to attract and seduce a female. Other scholars have argued that Shawwal was named after the time of year a female would carry her fetus, when some have said that it's actually the time when Arabs would hunt and travel throughout the lands after being lifted onto a horse or camel's back. Either way, Shawwal is the month of rising up after a month of fasting. In bidding farewell to Ramadan, we are usually faced with three questions. Are we also bidding farewell to all the good deeds we did in Ramadan? Will we maintain the key practices of patience, humility, compassion, solidarity, and generosity throughout the year? As Ramadan departs, will we let the spirit of Ramadan leave us as well? So let us use this day to open a page from the book of our individual muhasabah or self-examination and personally and critically reflect on what was achieved through this past month. This Ramadan was very different in that we were also in a lockdown and exposed to an invisible threat, the COVID-19 virus. This month has been challenging on many levels, but there were also many blessings in this period. On reflecting upon this time, let us ask ourselves, what benefits were derived? Which behaviors were adjusted? What good practices have been adopted? Which bad habits have been relinquished? And how did the prayers, fasting, and other forms of worship in Ramadan influence our attitudes and perspectives? How has it improved our relationships? Our relationship with God, with families, with friends, with neighbors? How did it affect our bodies, our hearts, our minds, and our soul? In a khutbah about transformative fasting we delivered in this organization last year, we were reminded that when a person purposefully denies something to their own self that it craves, they are elevating their mind above their body and their reason and will above their carnal passions. So fasting elevates the human spirit and increases our awareness of God. It strengthens our willpower as we learn to rise above our lower desires. Ramadan provides us with a sanctuary or a prescribed opportunity for our moral and spiritual regeneration. Challenging times like the COVID-19 pandemic is a mirror to ourselves and to the society that we have created. Such events can bring out the worst, but also the best in humanity. The fact that so many people are excluded, hurt, ostracized,